Hey, good morning. It's Edna Keep here live with Free Coaching Friday. So today I want to talk about the importance of your power team members. This is one of the very first modules I cover in my course because this is what's going to take all the weight or the majority of the weight off your shoulders. So many people think they have to do everything themselves and then they get in a state of overwhelm and don't get anything done. So first of all, when you're first starting out and you're looking for property, you need a good realtor on your side. Whether it be houses, duplexes, fourplexes, or a 36 unit, doesn't matter. They can start searching for you for properties. You tell them exactly what you're looking for. And you do want to be clear on that because you don't want them searching for multi-units for you if you're only prepared to buy a duplex, like a 12 unit or 24 or something like that. So you have to be clear on what you want. When we very first started out, we were very clear. We told, and I mean, very first we weren't really sure, but as we got more established and we knew we were watching our bottom line, we were noticing that the duplexes were renting really well. We were making really, really good cash flow on them. So we decided to buy more duplexes or properties we could make into duplexes. So that was our, that's the stuff, the description of what we gave to our mortgage broker. My experience had always been that if you walked into a property and it had musty smells, there were water challenges in the property. So I told him when he's looking, we're looking for 3 bedrooms up, 1 down. Usually we would take the odd 2, but you don't want a whole bunch of people in your basement. And or the ability to make it into a 1-bedroom suite. And so he lots of times would line up properties for us. We'd go in, see them, make the offer before the lockbox even got on. We had one time, I remember, where he had the offer in his hand and other people were lining up to come in and see the property. So being able to move quickly, and that was in a very strong market at the time, so there were lots of competing offers if you let it go too long. So we always had a special way of making an offer to make it sure that it happened. So that's where your realtor can do a really good job for you. Now with multifamily, again, your realtor should be somebody who has experience with multifamily. I know, and we're all guilty of this. We want to help our cousin. We want to help our auntie. We want to help our friend. And so you send them looking for apartment buildings for you and they find some, but they don't have a clue what it's all about. They try to get you to close in a week. They close in 2 weeks. And believe me, you might make them some money, but it will frustrate the heck out of you. So if you get a realtor that knows what they're doing and is used to dealing with multifamily, and you know, when we're dealing with multifamily, a lot of times we're looking for vendor takebacks. Talk to your realtor and ask them, are you familiar with dealing with vendor takebacks? How many have you done? Have you ever bought a property with a vendor takeback? Those are the good questions to ask because you know what? 95% of the realtors out there won't even present a vendor takeback because they've never done it. They don't understand it. And I've even had realtors tell me it's illegal, you know? So most of you guys that are on here, you know, you're my students. You already know more than 95% of realtors out there. There's still lots of really, really good ones who can teach you a few things though. So, and when you're selling, this is something that's really important. I know a lot of times people say to me, well, is there ever a time when you would just use the realtor that's making the sale? You know what? Yes and no. Like it's entirely up to you. We've done it both ways. We've had times where somebody's brought us a pocket listing and it just makes more sense to buy it through them, especially as we're more established and we understand a lot of the nuances. But if you're starting out, you should have a realtor working on your side. Sometimes, you know, maybe the realtor knew the seller before they knew you. Like there's some back and forth that could happen there. And remember that it's the seller that pays the realtor, not you. So if you do let your realtor double end it, ask for a concession. I'm happy to use you, but I'm going to want some of the commission knocked off on my side or something like that. So that's the use of your realtor. Your realtor's got access to MLS listings. And if they've been around and they're established, they probably have pocket listings that come to them all the time. And another reason why you may want to consider a pocket listing is sometimes the realtors won't even present you the deal if they're not going to double end it. So keep that in mind too. They might just say, you know what, I've got a list of, 10 people who buy. I'm going to approach them first because they'll buy just strictly through me, and they'll have their own list of buyers too, which they'll go to first too. So make sure you get on as many lists of realtors as you can and let them know that you're serious about buying. So that's your realtor. Mortgage broker, another very, very, very powerful member of your team, whether you're buying a single family home, duplex, all the way up to, multi units, because they can figure out ways to make it work best for you. And I'm going to give you an example. We bought this summer, 18 unit, a 12 unit, an 8 unit, and a duplex. All in one offer. So I wrote the offer up as one, knowing full well that, and it was a private sale between two real estate investors. There was no realtor involved. And we wrote it up as a per door price, basically. But when it came to financing, the mortgage broker said, we're going to get more financing on the 18-plex than we will on the 8-plex. So then when we did the final numbers, he worked it out for us. He worked out exactly how much we could use for a vendor take back on each property, exactly how much financing we could get based on the rents and whatnot, and we were able to get CMHC financing, which was really key. I think our 35-year amortization 2.92. So it really, really helped, and we got all the rates the same, all with the same lender, but the difference in door price between the 18 unit and the 8-plex was quite a bit different. So your mortgage broker can help you with all that. They can also search around for the best rates for you, and know which are the lenders taking things on at that time. There's some lenders that they get too much on the go. They don't have time to work with you, don't have time to, they always want your business, but don't have time to do it in your time frame, different stuff like that. Your mortgage broker will have a really good chance of putting it through for you that you might not be able to. They've built relationships with the people. They built the relationships with the underwriters at CMHC, the underwriters with the lenders, and they know what they're looking for. They know their numbers inside and out. They know, what per door price is happening in that area. And if it's a different door price than what you're looking at, why? It might be that the units are a whole lot newer. They're getting higher rents, or it's a more pristine area. So because they're in the field 24/7 and they're dealing all across, or they might have a specific area, but in our case, the guy we deal with deals all across Western Canada. So he's in the know and knows what's going on. And for those of you that are coming to my 3-day event, they are coming to speak at it. They just confirmed the other day. So I'm very excited to share their knowledge with you, because they're just a wealth of knowledge. It'll be awesome. So the mortgage broker can really help that way. As a matter of fact, the other day we were working with the mortgage broker, and he wasn't able to help us with one of the financings that we were working on. So I had another guy working on it, and he said, Edna, let me look at that for you before you finalize anything, because there's some lenders that you don't want to deal with. There's some out there that are strictly into loan-to-own programs, and he named off one of them that did that. So when I get my, and you get this when you build up a relationship with a mortgage broker, because we've done a lot of deals with him, and he's looking out for us, probably twofold. One to look after us, but also to look after themselves. They don't want us to get in trouble with the lender, because we picked a poor lender. So that's again, another really good power team member. What else? Okay, so that's your mortgage broker. They know a lot of stuff. Your lawyer, again, if they know and understand real estate, so much better. You know, I was one of those ones that right from the beginning, I had a lawyer I liked. And you know what was good about him though is he learned what we needed him to know. You know, if we presented him with a challenge he wasn't familiar with, he had a network of people that he could reach out to. And we liked him because he didn't charge us every time we picked up the phone and called him. He would give us, I mean, in the long run, he probably did, but it didn't feel like it. You know, like we've dealt with lawyers where you pick up the phone, talk to him for 5 minutes, and you get a bill for half an hour because it's a minimum 30-minute charge or something like this, and that just drives me crazy. You know, it probably works out in the long run, but it's that idea, geez, can I call this guy? Is it going to cost me $150 to get that question answered? And we never felt that way with our lawyer. And then when he passed on, we actually just stayed with the group that he was working with because they had all our joint venture agreements, they had all our agreements for sale, they had all that kind of stuff, and they'd done a wonderful job for us. And they aren't real estate investors, but they knew enough and they were trainable enough that they've been able to do a lot of really, really good stuff for us. Now it's just routine for them to write up a vendor take back or joint venture agreement. And we fine tune it. We're getting better and better all the time writing that kind of stuff up together. So another very, very, very important part of your power team. Next member, and this is a key one for us, and is a property manager. You know, a lot of times people ask, you know, how are you able to grow so quickly? And, you know, how come you didn't get stuck at 4 buildings like so many other people did? And, you know, I can honestly say that the biggest thing is because we never got mired down in the day-to-day responsibilities of property management. We didn't deal with tenants and toilets right from day one. I see so many people limiting their growth because they want to save $100 or $200. And then it just goes after they're working on, you know, 4 properties. You know, I just can't even possibly take on anymore because I do this and I do that and I do this. And in the long run, it's the biggest thing that will hinder your growth because you won't have time. You won't have time to look for new properties. You won't have time to look for investors. You won't have time to look for financing. You'll just be run off your feet dealing with tenants and toilets, whereas you could be paying somebody $100 a door, $150 a door, and have time to actually have a life and build your portfolio, because that's a key. So some of the things that the property manager will do for you is they'll find your tenants, they'll screen the tenants, and if there's challenges with the tenants, they'll get you the tenants out of your property. And again, all that is very, very, very time consuming. And I've seen people not do it and then they lose out at the rentalsman because they have no time to attend the hearing. Whereas if they would have just attended, they would have won, or at least the eviction notice. They get stuck on people staying in there for a longer period of time. They're knowledgeable. Again, there's a lot to know in the property management world. So you want them. They study it. That's what they know. They know it inside and out. Like I'll have different students ask me of different rentalsman rules. You know what? I don't even know, and I don't want to know. If you want to know, you call the rentalsman and find out. But again, I still think your best bet is to just hire a property manager. Now, when you're hiring them, you have to be careful because you know, you might get a really good base rate, but their hourly rate is ridiculous, and they'll use your building as a cash cow. And so you have to be careful with that. You have to get somebody who knows what they're doing, dealing with tenants, who can, you know, call in the plumber when the plumber needs to happen, or have somebody on your team that they can call to make sure that they're calling in the right people for the right job. And, you know, we've got our people good. One of our plumbers, for example, if he gets a call on a certain thing and it's not his expertise, a lot of times he'll just tell our property manager, you know, that one sounds like it'd be better to call in this guy because he's the specialist in, you know, dealing with the pipes or whatever. I can't think of an exact example. But that kind of stuff is good to know. You want people who are look out for you, not just try to, you know, earn $1 off you in absolutely everything they do. So that's good. They will also manage your rent rolls. They'll be able to, you know, they mark off who's paid rent, who's not. They chase down the ones that haven't. They liaison with the tenants to keep the tenants happy too, you know. Sometimes the tenant just wants to talk. You get to their building. My property manager does quarterly inspections on every single property. And sometimes they just want to talk. Maybe they're a stay-at-home mom and they're not out a lot, or whatever, and they want to visit a little bit. Take the time. Like, people and relationships are so important, and if you're too busy to just stop and listen to them for a few minutes, that's not a good thing. So you might get charged an extra 20 minutes, but you know what? It's absolutely worth it if you have that relationship with the tenant and they're happy and they stay with you for a long period of time. They can also liaison with your caretakers, make sure that your caretakers are doing what they need to do. We've recently set up a couple Airbnbs in our apartment building units, and their team looks after that as well. Because again, there's a little bit more that has to go with that. They've, got to let the tenants in, sometimes it's just 2-3 days at a time. And there's different expectations, different rules and stuff they have to follow. So again, that's all a learning curve. So somebody has to learn it and then monitor it and make sure that everything works out the way that you want it to do. You want to end up with superhost status, so you get good reviews on your property. Hey, good morning, everyone. Nice to see you on. TJ, Tracy, are you back in Canada? Hi, Ron. Hi, Rasna. Nice to see you on. Hi, Jerry. So those are the team members I want to talk about today. I'm going to talk, I think, in another session, maybe next Friday, about some more team members that you'll want to make sure you add. But make sure that you get, I always say, the best team members are fellow real estate investors, because they understand the tax implications, they understand what rents are going to be in that area, and others don't. I still remember one realtor took me into the heart of the hood to a brand new unit and tried to tell me I was going to get $2,600 a month for rent. And I said, no, we won't. And she go, oh no, but it's a brand new building, because she's comparing to something downtown. And I go, how many buildings do you own? You got to say stuff like that, because, and then she kind of laughed. She goes, well, yeah, you know what? You're right. You probably know better than I do. But you know what? It's just, it's a sales factor. Maybe they're just up and saying, what they believe based on other experiences that they've had. So you have to know your business inside and out when you're doing that kind of stuff. Don't let a realtor tell you what the rents are going to be. Go by what the rents are already, and then by other comparable rents in the area. And then again, your mortgage broker and your realtor can help you with that if they're experienced and they own their own buildings, maybe in the same area. They can say, well, you know what, this property is under rented. It's getting $800 a month, and in reality, it's probably closer to $9. So a good real estate investor will know that, and they can help you and point you in the right direction. And and as you build those teams, they only get paid if a deal happens. So keep that in mind too. And most of them, because they're professionals and looking to build long-term relationships, they'll give you free advice when you're just starting out. They're not thinking, oh, this guy's just wasting my time. It's, sometimes you got to groom the new investors too, so that they're, experienced and ready to go when it's time. That they call you, the realtor or mortgage broker, when the time comes, when they're ready to make that deal. So have a really good week. If you need some more help on learning how to choose your power team members and even get referred to a few, reach out to us. Like I said, my course, it teaches you all of that. If you are watching and you have never been through my course, reach out to me. I'd love to have a strategy call with you and see if it fits with you. And my email address is edna@ednakeep.com. That's the easiest way to get hold of me. And maybe it's a fit. Maybe it's time for you to start looking into multifamily and looking at vendor financing and raising capital for your deals, because maybe you've hit that ceiling already. If so, I'd love to help you. And then just another reminder, my event is coming up at the end of March 25th to 27th. If you haven't got your ticket, get it soon. I think they're cut off as of the 20th, because we got to get our head count into the hotel. So make sure you get your ticket soon. I look forward to seeing you all, and have a really, really good weekend. I know we are. We got lots of nice plans. And we'll see you all on Mindset Monday. Bye for now.